DeLon called back up for practice today and then sent right back down to you. I mean, you've talked a lot about how that's going to happen plenty. Is that what you guys changed the practice time today to facilitate that?
It was that mainly, but also to give guys more time if they were to see their families yesterday or go home so they could get back. And so it worked out both ways.
Do you do much for it for Thanksgiving?
I took my daughter to The Good Dinosaur, and she's 2. Yeah, new movie, and she's 2, and it was her first movie in a movie theater.
Wow.
And so we had an amazing time.
What a day.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really good.
Did she watch it?
She watched the whole thing, and she was into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good Thanksgiving. So a lot of these questions you'll probably ask Wednesday, but DeLon's performance in that game was pretty terrific in terms of scoring the ball. What did you see you liked, you didn't like, or not didn't like, but maybe didn't see? I know you had said you wanted him to focus more on distributing, and the guys were missing some open looks that he created, but the assist numbers weren't there, whereas the scoring was.
I thought offensively he was pretty good. He he did his kind of normal thing, and then he picked his spots, which was awesome. The only thing I would have liked to see him do better in that game was defend side pick and rolls. We talked about it today, and we worked on it today. Him letting the ball get to the middle was a little bit of a problem for us.
You guys are icing down here too.
Yeah, we're forcing down. And Coach Casey, is going to want him to be able to keep the ball out, on the sideline, and that's something that we could do better at. And then also with his size, you see Kyle Lowry, even with his size, he gets in there and rebounds the basketball. And, I'd like to see him utilize his size and get more defensive rebounds.
Yeah, and that's something you do well in the college level, right?
Yeah, that's something that I know he can do well at, and that's just, maybe me saying something to him a little as, hey, you got to help us out there. Especially with a guy like Jack Cooley, who is just a beast. You can't keep that guy off with one guy, no matter how big the guy is, as we saw.
Shot at the end of that game.
Yeah, so he if DeLon could have got in there and helped out a little bit, that would have helped us out.
You said after the game that you weren't really in a positive mindset, but 2 days removed, you watched the game again. Did you see any positive takeaways? Because at the time you were just a little upset.
Yeah, our second quarter was awesome. Really, we're showing some growth offensively. Defense is, we're having good spots, but it's not consistent enough. But, it is getting better. And I thought one thing that, kind of threw us for a loop in that game is just adding so many players to the mix like that with Axel, DeLon, Ronald, and Sim. I know for me, rotations was difficult, and I think for the players, just adjusting to that much, newness or whatever you want to call it was tough. I thought it played a little bit on our defense and our offensive rhythm. So if you take that into account, overall it wasn't that bad. But we still had a 23-point lead, and we gave that up with bad shots and soft defense.
You said you were a little bit disappointed in yourself due to some rotational stuff. Now that you had a chance to look back, what do you think worked, and maybe what's something that you're going to think to avoid in the future?
Well, it's a tough thing. I just, I think we have to do a better job as a staff, just, when foul trouble happens, to have a little bit of a more of a plan. And that's on me. That's not on my staff. That's 100% on me, just to have a little bit more of a plan if Bruno is going to get in foul trouble, which I don't want him to stop helping. And a lot of those fouls is he's trying to protect the rim and trying to be where he's supposed to be. And so we want him to continue to do that. We don't want him to just, guard his guy so he stays on the court. And so, him, being better at defensive without fouling will help that. But we need to have a more of a plan of if he does get in foul trouble, what we're going to, and get a little bit more consistent.
On the offensive side, turnovers are still a bit of an issue. You guys are also struggling a little bit from three-point range. And what it seems like is that teams are really packing the paint. You've got a lot of guys who can really drive and drive and kick. What when the shots aren't dropping, I mean, you have to assume they will eventually, but when the paint starts getting packed like that, how do you adjust from the driving kick?
Well, I think that, we did a little bit with just some more screening action and trying to throw the ball inside. But at the same time, I'm a big believer in consistency and building confidence of our guys. And if we're getting open, good shots, I want them to continue to take them no matter how many we miss. And over the season, if you're getting good looks, you're going to knock them down. And especially if your coach believes in you to shoot it and let it fly. And so, I don't think it's a thing where we want to pass up, open threes because we're not making shots. We want to continue to try to get the right shots and knock them down. And you have to shoot your way through that. And if you're a good enough defensive team, that works out because you're able to withstand whatever they bring at you defensively, and gives you time offensively to shoot your way out of it.
Yeah, you're pretty happy with the pace you guys are playing at?
We'd like to play a little bit faster and get more possessions in the game. But at the same time, turnovers have been an issue. So we're also trying to find a balance of, I don't want us to start getting out of control and keep the turnovers, numbers as high as they are. You can't turn the ball over like that. We had 20 again, in that game. And so we got to find that line. We got to take care of the basketball and push the pace, which is hard to do, and we're just trying to figure it out.